with some good information, and we're very pleased with the win. Thought the guys played really hard. We can play harder. There's no question about that. I thought the guys played with real physicality. We can play with more physicality, speed, all those things. We'll be seeking to improve upon, and we'll have to as the season goes on. And then we'll start our preparation for Houston. They've had a couple extra days. They played Thursday night, so they've been working on us all weekend. We understand that, and we're just going to have to hit the ground running here. Coaching staff this afternoon and tonight and tomorrow morning, and then players will come in tomorrow afternoon, and we'll get started on those guys. So with that, what questions do you have?
John Dave Ginsburg. Curious as to what you learned about your team. As I mentioned yesterday, no preseason game, and then you throw them out there, and it seems like I'm sure they showed you something that you maybe didn't know.
I don't know. I haven't really thought about like what thing I didn't know, but I felt like we handled the situation well, David. It was just a different kind of situation, that we hadn't played yet. The fans, I think there was I felt it, it was just different. It was just a little bit off-putting in a way, and we had to deal with that and try to find a way to make sure we manufactured our energy through all of that, even just no preseason games, and that being the first one, and it counted, that's just different for us to deal with. And you'll have fans out there. I thought the drum line was great, that was really cool. That was loved that. And then all the cutouts were really neat. And Mose Rose was, I got a little choked up watching the Mose Rose out there. Thanks to all the people that did that and bought those cutouts. But that we handled the situation well. Okay, now we got our feet on the ground. We understand what it is and where we're at and where we're going, and hopefully we have a chance to accelerate a little bit and improve as a football team.
Hey, John, it's Mark Viviano. You mentioned resetting in new circumstances. First road trip, first time you guys will be getting on a plane and staying at a hotel in these times. Any particular challenges, differences that could be disruptive or different?
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, our people do a great job. Dick Cass is the leader there, and Bob Eller and Joan and all the people, Megan, all the people in the building that do such a great job for us with travel and different things. But we'll just trust them. That's not something as coaches or players we really need to be focused on. We're going to trust them that the plane will be there and we'll get on it. It'll fly and it'll land and we'll get off of it. We'll get on a bus and the bus will work and take us to the hotel, and the hotel will be open and the rooms will be ready and the meeting rooms will be ready. And we'll try to focus on the football part of it, and whatever glitches. I think the biggest thing here, and kind of to your point, Mark, and the biggest thing is that we try not to worry about things. I mean, hey, if the food line's a little longer than we're used to, or something like that, and we got to stand in line and wait. If we get off kilter a little bit, you just got to say so what and don't worry about it, and don't let it throw you off track, and keep the focus on the main thing, which is playing the game. That's what we'll try to do as coaches and players.
Hey, John, this is Jameson. You took Lamar out, I think it was with 4 minutes left. The previous drive, I think it was 10 minutes left. How close were you about removing him for that drive, and what went into thinking of keeping him in at that point?
Well, we didn't take the 4 minutes left was because the defense was on the field up until that point. 10 minutes left? Nah, I don't think so. That's not really. It's the National Football League, so if you look around the league, you'll see that not too many people are taking their quarterbacks out with 10 minutes left in the game in the National Football League. So, and that's historically true. There's a lot of reasons for that, and I don't think I have to get into all the reasons for that. But all the people that want to say that that should be done, I'd have to disagree with that.
Hey, Coach, Derek Harper from SI. We talked a lot about Calais yesterday, but Derek Wolfe played 52 snaps, which was the most on the defensive line, 3 tackles and 2 quarterback hits. What did you see from him on the film today? What stood out with his performance? Yeah,
I mean, he made plays for sure. We even dropped him into coverage, right? And he had a PBU dropping into coverage. It wasn't just batted balls. He had 2 of those too, and he played really well. He's a force in there. I thought Derek Wolfe was a force in there. Brandon Williams was a force, especially in the second half. Boy, Brandon really played well, and they helped the young linebackers. We had good rotational plays. I mean, Jelly did a great job. He was really physical in there when he played nose guard. Broderick did a nice job, young guy, and got his sea legs a little bit and really started playing well as the game went on. So I was really happy with all the guys in there on the D line.
Hey John, this is Daniel Yafusi from the Baltimore Sun. What stood out to you just looking at the film and looking at Tyree Phillips at right guard making that start without any preseason games and starting the season off with that?
Yeah, it's a great observation. There's so many little things here, so many young guys to talk about, But to start on the offensive line as a rookie at a position that you didn't play in college, he was a left tackle, he's starting a right guard. It's pretty remarkable. And, he's got a long way to go. He can improve so much, but I look at that as a real positive. I mean, he's only going to get better because he's really smart, and he's really a detail-oriented person. And he's the kind of guy that once he's experienced it, he corrects it, and he's going to learn from every single snap that he takes out there. So he had a few things, but he cleaned them up right away, and he's a heck of an athlete, real strong guy. So I would say that he graded out and a plus for sure in the game. He had a good game.
Hey, Coach Sean Stebner from ABC Baltimore WMAR. After watching the tape this morning, how impressed were you with the last touchdown drive of the first half, 35 seconds, 69 yards, just the efficiency that the drive showed and how Lamar operated that in game one with no preseason?
Right, great observation. I feel like, well, you couldn't do that drive any better than that. That's as good as it could be done. It couldn't be done any better. No timeouts. I think we did it in 42 seconds. 15 seconds left, no timeouts. We get down there, we run 3 more plays. We score on the third play. Those are situations where you can't run the ball, you can't take a sack, you can't throw a completion where the clock's going to be running or you're going to be done. So you're greedy in a sense. You're trying to get the touchdown, but you don't want to give up the field goal. That's a situation we work on very often. And we still had 6 seconds left after we scored. It's just remarkable. And I think Lamar, the whole offense deserves the credit for it. They all understood the situation. They all reacted perfectly. But, of course, the quarterback is the conductor. And Lamar has a real knack for handling situational football, especially as it pertains to the clock. I think it's something that he's really, really good at. And I was glad to see it show up there at the end of the half because it really separated the game for us a little bit and gave us a little breathing room going into halftime. And it was just as you say, it was probably the turning point in the game.
John, this is Jeff. Go ahead. John, this is Jess Rebick from The Athletic. Looking back on it a little bit, for Matt Skora to play yesterday to start week 1, basically less than 10 months after a serious injury, what kind of achievement is that? And when in the off season, when you were planning, for your team and the season, did you think there was any chance that he might be able to go in week 1?
I think it's a remarkable accomplishment, and I'd say no, I didn't think there was any chance he would be able to go week 1. In all honesty, I thought he'd be a PUP, come back, after 6 weeks at the earliest, type of a guy situation. That would have been excellent for him to be back playing in the opener as a tribute to him and to our trainers and the doctors that did the surgery and just the whole thing. I mean, his wife for putting up with him, all these things that go into this. He played a good, solid game. I mean, he's only going to get better from here. He's on limited practice and I don't think physically he's 100% yet either. But he played still a winning football game. So yeah, very proud of him for that. He did a great job. It's a really good point, Jeff.
Jimena Lugo, La Torre from Ravens Spanish Radio. Coach, congratulations. How do you see Cleveland's game plan to stop Lamar?
Well, I think their first thought was to stop the run. They wanted to make sure they stopped the run, and they did a pretty good job of that. They've got a good defensive line, and I thought the linebackers, the way they positioned them and the way they organized their front to handle the quarterback-driven stuff was good. And then they wanted to not give up big plays, and and they did a pretty good job of that too, you know. But Lamar was able to take advantage of the intermediate throws, some of the extended plays, keep chains moving, the 2-minute stuff. That was the difference in the game, I thought.
Hey, John, this is Aaron at Penn Live. I know you were asked about keeping Lamar in the game, but in that last drive he was in, I believe he near the goal line lowered his head and tried to score late in the game. Was that particular play one where you might have liked him to step out of bounds, or did you like his decision there to try and score?
You know, I'm not going to worry about it. You know, I think Lamar does a great job. He knows how to play. You know, if you watch the play, who took the hit on that play?
I'd have to go back and watch it again.
Well, I mean, you're asking me about the play, so certainly it's a play that you've studied. You know, it wasn't Lamar. You know, but no, I mean, we're not looking for Lamar to take big hits or lower his head and try to run people over or anything like that. That's not something we practice, and you know, Lamar does a great job of protecting himself. So, you know, every player out there is in a situation where, you know, you're at risk. You know, it's football. There's a risk, and it goes for every quarterback in the league. It goes for every defensive back in the league, and every player in the league, and that's part of it. You know, and you try to minimize as much as you can, but you can't run from it. You can't play scared. You got to go play the game to win the game, and Lamar does that. I'm proud of him for that. We do the best we can to protect all of our guys, including our quarterback. It's very important to us. I don't want to minimize that. We think about that, but we're not going to just react to every criticism and say, well, and we could take him out of the game at halftime too. That might keep him safer too, but we're not going to do that. You know. And I think if you look back at the history of football, you'll see that nobody does that. Nobody's done that. People don't take their quarterback out. We're the first team, I think, that I know of to start taking our quarterback out with 10 minutes left in the game. We did that once or twice last year. Check and see who's done that in the last 30 years. You know, it's very rare. So a lot of things can happen. I've seen teams come back in the fourth quarter. You want to keep your defense off the field. All these things are factors, and we want to develop our team too. It's the first game of the season. So we're trying to work on stuff as well. So all those things factor in. And it's just a criticism that you guys can keep asking me about, and I'm going to keep telling you the same thing. And I think if you study football and you look at what other teams do, you'll see that just people don't do that. And there's a reason for it. It's not because we want to see somebody get hurt or something like that. So take a look at Seattle with Russell Wilson. What were they up by? And when did Russell come out? So I would encourage you to do your homework on that.
John, any update on Ron Stanley, and how impressed were you with Jimmy Smith, who had back spasms yet played most of the game?
Yeah, Jimmy did a great job, and I do not have an update on Ronnie Stanley yet. I don't think it's anything. I haven't been told anything serious, so they're working on him down in the training room. So I'd say Wednesday we'll have a pretty good idea. But again, I expect him to be out there practicing Wednesday. That's my expectation at this point.
Coach Garrett Downing with the Ravens, Lamar talked a lot this offseason about just adding precision in the passing game, and you know, throw that stands out from yesterday was the one of Andrews over the middle of the field. How encouraging was it to see that kind of precision right from the get-go from Lamar in the passing game?
I thought he just showed great poise in the pocket the whole game. You know, he had a good awareness of the rush. They were bringing it. They have really good pass rushers. They mixed up their coverages, man, zone, different types of zone coverages, and he had just a great feel for it. Now he has Mark, of course, you know, has a great feel for coverages too. It wasn't just Mark. I mean, the throw to Willie and the route that Willie ran there late in the game for the touchdown. Just all those things were just really indicative of just an excellent, well played quarterback game. I mean, Lamar played an excellent game, and the passing game, the drop back passing game was really the main part of that. I thought he just did a great job.
Hey, John.
Coach, it's Ryan.
When we talked to Patrick Queen yesterday, he was happy, but he felt like there were some things he could clean up. I mean, when you kind of drilled down on the tape, what stood out to you about what he did yesterday? Yeah,
you know, he did a good job with his run fits. He was downhill. I thought he showed his explosive speed a couple times where he went and you know, made some plays. But generally speaking, just very solid in terms of the basics. You know, the run fits, the angles he took, the zone drops, the way he related to routes, the patience he showed there. He didn't panic at all, Childs. I mean, I felt like that was the best thing about it as a start. And again, he should only improve from here.
As we have time for two more for Coach, and we'll go with Ryan Mink first. Yeah, Brian Mink from Ravens Media. Just kind of piggybacking off that, how impressive was it for Malik Harrison to get the start? I mean, I know obviously you guys are rotating there with LJ and whatnot, but to start as a rookie, and also what did you see from film on him when you went back and looked at it?
He did. He played the same exact as Patrick. I thought both those two guys played really good football, especially for their first time. They're good starts for those guys, and there'll be things that they can learn from, and they'll see right away when they look at it, things that they can improve and carry forward. But I was pleased with both those two guys. I thought Malik played very well also.
Hey, John, it's Luke Jones with WNST. Sticking with the inside linebacker theme, you do have those young guys playing. So how valuable is it to have LJ Fort just as a mentor, but also what he did for you defensively and obviously the big play on the big punt?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's exactly right. That kind of gives you a foundation, right, to work those young guys in, to not put them in positions where they have to do more maybe than you'd want to ask him to do. Chris Board played a good game on defense too. He had some good snaps for us out there. So yeah, I think that's a great point. You know, we're going to rotate those backers probably pretty much all year and put them in situations where they do things that they understand and do well and move them in and out. And it's kind of what we like to do on defense anyway. That's kind of our personality. So yeah, it's a good situation to have.
All right, Coach, appreciate your time. To our media corps, thank you, and we will see you back here on Wednesday morning.
All right, thanks, guys. Thank you.